Welcome back to the latest episode of the Big Game Podcast, man. I'm Chris Hunter. I got my man Daniel Horton with me, man. How you doing, dog?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm recovering,
Yeah.
man. It was a big game on Friday, man, against our arch rival, little brother, Michigan State Spartans, man. And unfortunately, Michigan came out on the short end of that stick, man. Michigan falls to MSU 75-62 in a home game at Chrysler, man. So tough loss. Definitely disappointed about the outcome and disappointed about how the game played out. What were your initial thoughts on just watching this game, man, before we get into our film breakdown? Just what were your thoughts watching this one, man?
Like you said, it was a bit disappointing to see the effort at times or the intensity at times, especially when you know what's required to play in this game, right? And they've showed that, that required energy, effort, intensity. They've shown that before in previous games against Purdue and other opponents. So it was a bit disappointing to see. I don't know if I don't want to say the moment was too big for any of these guys, but I think with it, some of them being their first taste of action in this rivalry,
Yeah.
they kind of learned some valuable lessons this game. Hopefully they can carry them forward.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I think the general thing for me is, man, we just got outplayed in a lot of different areas, right? So the things that we needed to do, some of them we did, some of them we didn't. But, as an overall thing, we got outplayed, on both sides of the ball. I think our backcourt had one of their poorest games that I've seen as a collective, both offensively and defensively. And then you get Michigan State with an outlier game, especially if you're talking about shooting from the outside, and you get a victory like this for them. You look at those numbers. Jace Richardson's been playing well, 21 points. And then Trey Holloman off the bench, like we said in our preview of this, that if you let him see daylight, you let him get going, he's fearless. And he really hurt us in this game with 18 points off the bench. And, Jaden Akins did what he did. But, our guys on the other end did not meet the task as far as that intensity, that toughness, and putting points on the board like we needed to from that backcourt, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think their physicality on both ends really, really set the tone, right? That's, a little bit disappointing in our arena. But I think the way they defended us on one end and the way that they attacked us on the other end really presented some new challenges that Michigan really hadn't seen for the most part this year, right? Normally it's one guard that they like, whether it's Bruce Thornton or Braden Smith but Michigan State had a number of guards that was able to attack and get downhill and make plays for themselves and other people. So that's it was kind of similar to the Arkansas game, right? They had
and multiple guys who can get going. And that's been our Achilles heel for the most part this year. These dynamic guards that can get going. And you think Michigan State, they don't shoot that well. They're not extremely dynamic. But I thought we did a lot of things to let them get going.
Yeah, for
sure. And once you get that in the rivalry game, you have those outlier performances and you get what you get right here, man.
Yes,
so let's get into our post-game recap just to see if our predictions kind of held true to what we thought were the keys to victory to win this game in our post-game recap. So if you look at these bullet points, man, I think stopping the early transition, I thought that was pretty good for us, all right? Michigan State only had 10 fast break points, which is, I think, as a whole, holding them to that. And then Michigan as well having 10 fast break points, it kind of washes out that whole category. So check mark on the stopping the early transition. When you're talking about controlling the defensive glass, we definitely weren't able to do that. I think, early in the game, we had stretches where we gave up multiple possessions with offensive rebounds in a row with Cohen Carr. And you got some of the big fellas and Carson Cooper going in there. So we got out-rebounded 34-25. And Michigan State was able to get 15 second-chance points off of those offensive rebounds, right? 14 of those. So, anytime you give up 15 second-chance points and you get out-rebounded by 9 and giving up 14 offensive rebounds, you don't win that category. And then playing physical defense without fouling, I think we did a solid job of limiting Michigan State's trips to the foul line, just allowing them 15 attempts, and they only made 10 free throws in the game. However, we gave up a lot of open threes by poor defense and being late.
You got to get closer, guys, to foul them.
Yeah, you got to get close to them. So we did a good job of not fouling them dudes, but we let them dudes loose in a lot of areas off of offensive rebounds and kickouts, and then a lot of just poor defense and being unattached from some of those guys and letting those guys get going early. So in that category, I said check mark for not fouling them, but we got an X for really just playing, physical defense and staying in these guys' hip pocket and making them uncomfortable. So what are your thoughts looking at that, man, that post-game recap and kind of how the game played out, just looking at these three categories?
Now, I agree with all of it, especially the last part, the physical defense, the second half, right? Because I think we kind of overreacted to Holloman making a few shots in a row after he got it going, and we jumped into a zone. And normally when the guy gets it going, or when two guys have it going now, you want to give them less airspace, not more airspace, right? So when you jump into the zone, now everybody's comfortable. So that's my thing. I think we kind of overreacted to Holloman making some big time shots, but yeah, man, the offensive rebounds, especially the second half, or to start the early in the first half and then the end of the game were kind of frustrating, right? So I think those are two areas that they're really going to have to do some soul searching on moving forward, because it's not going to get easier. So
yeah, it's not going to get easier. But you got a few weeks and you get a rematch against Michigan State. So now you got some film on it. Now you got to be able to prepare and get better. And that's a good segue into getting into our film breakdown of this game. And we'll talk more in depth about exactly what the heck happened, man, and what we didn't do well to be able to win this game. So let's put this game up for us, and man, let's get straight into it, man.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty, pretty disappointing performance from the starters, especially from our three main guys. You have your starting point guard minus 27, and both of your bigs at minus 17 apiece. Those being your three catalysts for what you do. It's kind of setting the tone for you to have a funky night, right? And I think, it started early with the physicality. I remember we talked about in the Purdue game, we meeting the challenge, and you could just see here starting early, you're just not meeting challenges, right? We've been switching, so we're kind of cross-matched right now, right here with, Cohen. Even though Cohen's the three at this point, you could tell these guards have been switching, so Trey's ended up on him, and he just, hey, man, get out of my way.
Just brush it, and that's a total opposite of the clip we showed earlier in our preview against Purdue in our post game, where Trey laid out Trey Kaufman-Renn coming into the lane. And that's when I was telling you, when I saw that play happen, when Trey laid out Kaufman-Renn and knocked him on his feet on a box out, I said, okay, they're ready. They're in tune. They're in this game, and they're ready to win this game. But in this game, you can see on multiple possessions where, unfortunately, Trey just he wasn't up to the challenge. You got to lay these dudes out, especially in a rivalry game. You got to set the tone, man, by putting somebody on their ASS in this game.
Yep, we got next play right here. Good contest by Danny. You got to block him out over there on the weak side.
Yeah, running back Trey just ball watching, right? Shot goes up. Look at him right now. He's watching the flight of the ball instead of going and laying out. Cohen car again. That's your box out. You got to go put a body on that dude. You can't
first
let him
piece of rebounding.
First, you got to turn, look, find, hit, put a body on him. Then you go pursue the ball. Especially a dude who jumps off a freaking trampoline anytime he's on the court.
Yeah, goes against another. That's the same possession, right? So a couple possessions later, shot goes up
again. And this is Trey. This is your point guard. Right now, you're looking at him. Your head up, shot goes up. Now you got to do your job about putting your body on him, moving your feet. And that's just a piss poor effort. All right, you got to travel out of that play, but that's a piss poor effort right there. If I'm a coach watching this film, he's definitely seeing all of these clips, because these are the clips that you put in front of somebody to say these are the winning plays that you have to make in any game, let alone a rivalry game.
Right. Here's been a problem area for Michigan defenses, especially when in zone. One guy outworks four guys, tips it to his teammate. All right, good contest right here. Well, you got to stand and play and block out.
Got to stand and play and block out. You can't contest and then run out of there, especially for a guy shooting a floater in the paint. You got to stand there and block that man out. He can't get his own shot on that play.
Yep. This is second half. Shot goes up. Good contest. One guy outworks three.
And it's again, when you look at it, if you run it back, Vlad is just turning and looking at the flight of the ball. He didn't put a body on Jackson Kohler. So the shot goes up here. you got to hit that dude.
Yeah.
Like you can't give anybody a free run in there to think that you're going to be able to get the rebound over him. So,
and it only takes one guy, right? Namari's fighting. These guys are not really crashing. So Namari's he's got a good block out on the guy this time. Come on, man. One guy can't beat two guys to the ball. Right? This is the shot we want. I don't think I've ever seen him shoot a pull-up jump shot off the dribble, right?
Yeah, no. So that's the percentage shot you want with a great contest by Danny. This is what you want. But then again, on the backside, you get guys getting their butts whipped on an offensive rebound. So Trey he's engaged right now. It's a bigger dude. We switch, and that puts us in those bad matchups as far as boxing out and sometimes on the perimeter defending. But now you got a battle, man. This is winning time. This is for a Big Ten championship. This is a rival. You just can't get, arm swung out of there, and now you're, on the stanchion, and they're getting another offensive rebound and laying it up.
Yeah. He's a guard. Right? These other guards got to drop down and help. Right? The bigs challenge the shot at the rim. Pippen, you got to get in there. Gale, you got to get in there.
Got to secure that rebound, man.
Tough shot, good defense. One guy again in the middle of right. Ruben, you gotta wash him out of there. If they call a foul, they call a foul. But you gotta wash him out of there.
You gotta wash him out of there. And Vlad, you just gotta be better at rebounding out of your area.
Yeah.
And boxing guys out. For as big as strong as he is, that's one of his growth areas right there, is really rebounding out of his area and controlling that paint off the rebound as well.
Sure. And that was my question for both of those guys coming into this year. Golden and Wolf, can they rebound out of their area? And Wolf has proven he can. Vlad is still working on it.
Still working on it. And for him to reach the heights and to get to where we need to be, he has to be better at that. Because he's strong enough, he's got good hands, and athletic enough to do it. So now we just got to be able to execute and keep these guys off the glass.
Yeah. All right. We're fighting right now. Vlad got his man kind of crushed. All right. We got a good contest right here. We got inside position. We just got to root him out of there. He's bigger than you. You got to get him. We got to wash him out of there, Namar. Sometimes that's one of the ones, Chris, you say, I don't care if I get the rebound. I'm just not going to let him get it. Yeah.
He's not getting it.
Yeah, you got to get him out of there. He's able to tip it and keep it alive. And that's 4 Wolverines versus 1. 4 versus 2. Vlad clears one out. 4 versus 1. Right there. If you pause this and show this picture to somebody, like, who got this ball?
And it better be, because really you see it's 5. Danny is right there in the picture up top. So he could be cleaning up anything long as well. So yeah, as a coach, if you show somebody that screen, it's like, all right, we came up with that one. But in this game, we didn't.
No. So they definitely kind of manhandled us in certain areas of the floor, and when they weren't, they were able to kind of, like you said, whip us off the dribble at times due to our ball screen coverages and poor matchups as far as the switching philosophy, right? And I never want to get into where we're questioning what Dusty does, right? What his philosophy is, but I think in this game, those two things, the switching and the drop coverage, the execution of both of those was extremely poor. That really hurt us. So
yeah, and when you get into the switching, that's some of the stuff that you have to deal with, right? You might get bad perimeter defensive matchups with Danny Wolf or other folks guarding guys off of screening actions or guarding guys off the bounce. And now you got your little guys down there trying to box out some of these bigger, stronger guys, and that's what you get when you switch. So it's not, like you said, it's not questioning philosophy, but those are the things you have to contend with when you're a switching team the way Michigan switches.
For sure. All right, right here we get into a high ball screen action in the 45 in the slot. All right, let's go. We talk about bullying guys over the screen and being physical at the point of attack, right? He does this to a certain extent, right? That's not a bad job, right? But where you have to stay disciplined and stay focused to where now, right, part of that is Vlad is so far back and not engaged. He feels threatened by this guy being able to get all the way downhill with his left hand. So he loses discipline to try to beat him back to a spot. And this guy's too good for that. Right.
Yeah.
He's moving up draft boards for a reason.
For a reason.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a heck of a step back play. But at the same time, it's really poor, undisciplined defense. Like, at no point in time should you find yourself spinning around on that, right?
Yeah.
If you stay on this hip pocket, you stay balanced. Now I can get back into the play. I can stop, and then I can get back and contest that shot. But like you said, it started out with Vlad basically at the charge circle when the screen is happening out there.
Right.
Like, you're at the charge circle. I don't know what you're protecting on, but you need to be up more and engaged, and you can still execute your job coverage.
Yeah, you need to be up near the free throw line, brother.
You need to be at least 2 steps up, above the free throw line right now with the screen so high, the way how high it is.
Yep. So that's a big time shot, right? Same thing. Now he's a little higher. Ruben does a good job of pushing him off, or making him veer off the screen. He doesn't go, not able to go shoulder to shoulder. But at some point, you have to get back in front, right? So you're getting away with a little riding his hip right here. Yep. But like you say, you get on a good player's hip, man. You get on a good player's hip, he's going to get downhill. Trey, not sure what you're doing in the gap. You're guarding a 9 shooter.
Yeah, so right there, Trey should be right there at that elbow. Like, you should be in the gap, forcing him to kick that ball out to a guy who is not a shooter, right? They make some shots in this game, but they're not a shooter. And then Vlad, the same time, you have to stay in the line of the ball handler.
Yes.
Like, he's retreating back to his man right quick. So now
he needs to be at that eye. One.
So basically in the line. So this line, he's retreating back to his man over there, and he needs to be in the line of the ball handler so he can see some resistance. And right now he's going back to say, okay, my man is not scoring, but the ball scores. You got to stop the ball first. And you got to trust that.
Man is the guy with the ball.
Guy with the ball. So Trey doesn't do his job. Vlad doesn't do his job. And now you got a really special talent in Jace Richardson going down and finishing over guys at the rim.
Right. This kind of position you get caught in our offensive alignment at times. Right. You're not expecting the shot to go up or miss like that. Normally when the shot goes up, these two guys, maybe if Roddy's going, these two outside guys got to be flying back on defense, right? Late recognition.
Floor balance. You got to get back and balance that floor, especially if you're guarding that corner. You got to recognize when shots goes up and I'm not shooting it, I got to get my butt back so I can stop this type of activity from happening. Somebody leaking out, and heck of a play by Jace Richardson again with the spin move.
Yeah. We're in our zone, and we do a pretty decent job initially, right? Get a good trap right there, right? Active hands on the ball, right? It's a decent possession for the most part, right? Making them pass the ball around the perimeter. The thing is, we can't allow the quick whips, right? When you allow those quick whips and quick ball reversals, now that puts you in, it compromises your defense, right? And this is short, but it's a quick ball reversal, and now he's able to sneak his way into the lane. Little floater. Right. I just think it's a lack of activity, right? We talked like he's just a statue right now. I don't want to blame it on him, but I think if he's a little bit more active and aggressive here in the middle, kind of both of these guys right here, whether it's fatigue or whatever, we were very, very soft in the middle.
Yeah. And what we talked about earlier too, and I've been on coaching staff, what the principles in the zone is once it gets into shot clock time under 8 seconds, and then that's when you're really trying to find a matchup because a shot is going up, so you're not necessarily guarding the area at that time. So I don't know if Michigan has those same principles. I'm sure they probably have something like that in a defensive shot clock situation. But if you take it back a couple frames, when this happens and that ball goes to Fittler, it's about 6 or 7 seconds on the shot clock. So that's usually when you're starting to yell whatever your defensive shot clock. Red. And now we're matching up. All right. So it's 7 seconds when he catches the ball. So at this point, Vlad, Danny, everybody on the court is yelling red. So now we match up because we know they got to get a shot up within 4 or 5 seconds. and that would eliminate this kind of, him sneaking behind you because you're staying in the zone and we don't know who's guarding because you're guarding two. And that shot clock time in a zone like that, typically you're matching up and you're finding a man so we can contest all the shots.
Yep. Now, like I said, I don't know if it was late recognition or, like you said, they don't have those principles or whatever, but he snuck into the middle of the zone. Like it's a typical 2-3 that's kind of open in certain areas.
Yeah.
Boom. That's probably something I'm pretty sure that's something they're going to talk about moving forward. If they,
For sure.
Right. They extend the zone extend their press back and drop back to the zone. Looks like it's a 3-2 this time. Right. Which is good, right? You saw him play a 2-3. We've seen him play a 2-3, seen him play a 3-2 this time. And really maybe it is a matchup zone, right? Because I remember, the point zone, you can start in different. You can start in a 2-3. You can start as a 3-2 or 1-3, but it all ends up being the same thing. So who knows? We're not in practice every day, so we don't know. But this possession starts out, we give up a straight line drive.
Yep, activity is good early, but sometimes that activity gets you in trouble. I think on this play, Reuben Jones kind of gambled for that steal, didn't get it, and created a driving lane where now Holloman is able to collapse your defense right here. All right, so you gamble for that, you didn't get it. Now he's in the teeth of your defense, drawing two, dropping it off to him, and now you're in scramble mode a little bit. So now the ball comes out, you're in scramble mode, and you get hurt on the
yelling red again right here, right?
Red. Let's match up now. We're in scramble. The zone has been manipulated. It's been collapsed. So now let's match up.
Good job. All right, good job right here by Trey. I think in the zone, you don't want to let him use the ball screen that late in the shot clock. Right? You just gotta be more physical. You just gotta be more physical on the ball.
You gotta guard the ball. Now you gotta move your feet. You gotta move your feet.
Now you gotta guard it.
Yeah, you gotta guard him. Yeah, and this was just letting him get an angle, putting his shoulder into you, and he made a tough finish off the glass.
Yeah,
right?
You have a big time player get an angle. Look at that. He turned him around with the contact. All right. You can't really crash into him and foul him. So he initiates you. That's a big time play right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we go get into Trey Holloman stuff, right? This is early in the game. I text you after he had went on this run. It was like, man, we've been giving up workout quality jump shots, right? And I just know, like, when they're getting to their pre-practice drills, I guarantee you this is a shot that they work on.
Yeah, this is a shot they work on.
Like, come on, man. Like, we can't give them workout quality jump shots in a rivalry game. Right? That's his first make. Right? This might be the next possession or a couple possessions later. When they're doing their 5-on-0, you know what I mean? They're getting up and down, going through what we call it
transition drills.
Transition cycles, right? This is a shot that he's going to take. You got to get a hand up.
7 foot, you got to contest. You can't stand there and watch guys. Like, he looked like a manager out there in a drill, like you say, drill work. 7 foot guy, get a contest up, and you never know, man. That might deter his vision or whatever, but you can't stand there and look at guys shoot, like you say, drill shots.
Yeah. So he hit those 2 shots, then he got the tech free throws, right?
Got the tech free throws. Now he's feeling good.
Yep. So now everybody's like, it doesn't matter if a guy can shoot or not, right? After you've given him 2 wide open looks, basically. He shot 2 free throws, which are wide open. Like, you think, like, he has it going now. Now, on top of that, he ends up getting this bucket here, right? I'm just showing you, like, it's good defense. Great help by Roddy right there. It's good defense up until right here. Then he opens up. That's too easy, right? So he's seen the rim clean 4 or 5, 6 times.
4 or 5 times,
including the free throws, right?
Including the free throw. We can't let a guy like that see daylight because, like we said before, he's fearless.
Yep. So now
he can take and make shots.
Right. And all of these, like we talk about, in certain situations, like, the ball's supposed to go in. Like, you go underneath on a simple pin down action where you should have just footstepped him over the top or switched it like we've been doing, and he gets a wide open look. He has it going already.
Yeah.
Right. Offensive rebound. When's the best time to shoot a 3? After
offensive
offensive
rebound. This is drill shooting right here. People rebounding for you, they kick it out to you. Drill
shooting, right? These are all shots that they work on, I'm pretty sure, on a daily basis. Right? Now, after I've gotten 3, 4, 5 drill work shots where I know I work on now, I get in my bag. I'm gonna buckle you a little bit right here, hit you with the step back, late contest. And it really doesn't matter about the contest. Why? Because I have it going now.
I got it going. I done made 2 or 3 already, 2 or 3 layups. I got free throws off the technical, so it don't matter. And this was really, when you think about this game, this was the run that gave them the separation they needed to really put the pressure on Michigan, and we weren't able to get back all the way over the hump. So this Trey Holloman run was a huge run to put them up and put the pressure on Michigan to be able to make plays, and we weren't able to do it. And unfortunately, as you're looking at these clips, we're not want to single people out, but, you know, the eye test doesn't lie. This is Danny Wolf having to do a better job defensively all the way around. If we're going to switch on the perimeter, he's got to be able to chase screens. If we're going to switch him on the perimeter, on the defensive guy, he's got to be able to stay in front and contest shot and not get his ankles broke like they did on that play. So these are all things that guys are capable of doing, but we didn't execute well in this game. And, you know, the film doesn't lie on it. You know, Trey and I think Vlad and Danny didn't have their normal typical games, both defensively and offensively in this game.
Yeah, we've seen possessions where Danny contested well, right? Well, he got a good contest, but in these type of game has to be a 40-minute thing. It can't be couple possessions here and there. So I think they learned, like I said, some lessons were learned that game, right? And so as we transition, I think we get into the clips where we show where we at certain points of the game, we had great energy and great effort and activity on defense. And if they can bottle some of this up moving forward, I think, like I said, with it being winning season, championship season, I think they'll put themselves back. You know, they still have everything in front of them, right?
Everything in front of them. They went out, you win. So it's there. Like, do what you need to do, but these are the possessions that you need to see more of, and not the ones we just showed you.
Yep.
Still, Vlad is back there in that charge circle. I would love to see him a little bit more active up there because he can still execute his drop coverage. But
look at that defense. Cut him off, get back.
Keeping his chest on him, chest in front.
Right. It's a little undisciplined with Reuben Jones reacting to
the shot fake, but he was able to have active hands.
Yep. Active hands, get out and run. Right. Stop the transition early. All right.
Multiple efforts, great activity, great connective.
Good dig.
Get it out of there. Anytime a post player turns his back like that to spin, that's the perfect time to dig.
Yep. Now, a couple other times in the game, we dug and kind of from obvious situations and gave up open threes, like you said. So I think when, like you said, we have to be able to recognize when it's the right time to go and not go.
Yep. Great ball denied. You pushing out catches. This is like that. That's the type of defensive intensity and effort you have to see. This is perfect. You're engaged. Every catch is contested, trying to push it out, and he's got active hands. These are the possessions you can see right here. And you see even Damari on the other side, like he's ready. He's in the stands. Will is in the stand.
Yep.
Vlad is above the charge circle in this possession, right? He's up at the Big Ten logo, so he's more engaged. These are the possessions you need to see if you want to win down the stretch and put up a banner in Chrysler.
Yes, sir. Look at that. Good job, rookie. Good job, rookie.
Should look like his daddy a little bit on defense on that one, huh?
Right, or even right here in the zone. Watch the activity and the movement by the guards, right? Danny as well.
Passing lanes.
Making those guys pass around your hands, not through you, making them pass around you.
Good, active. Good. There you go, Trey. Now that's what we need. That right there. Activity.
Like it was his guy. He was supposed to take the guy at the top of the zone. It was his rotation. He took the guy at the top, read his eyes. Good deflection right there. Active hands.
Perfect.
Right, so they can, in man or zone, they can be effective. They just have to continue to they have to give multiple efforts, right? When you give multiple efforts, when you block out and rebound, you give yourself a chance to be really a lot better on offense. It's hard to be good on offense taking it out the net.
Taking it out the net every time. No, for sure, especially against a great defensive team like Michigan State. That's a tough position to put yourself in. And this is great, man. Activity. So they're able to figure this out and get that middle covered. and that forced them to make a tough play. Reuben Jones reading it, got the middle covered, and now we're active on the ball, and these are the possessions that you need. You don't want that with Roddy Gale. He's got to keep his eyes up and see what the heck is going on when he get that
Yeah.
steal. I don't know what happened right there, but
That's one, man. Just pick it up. Just pick it up.
pick it up.
Yeah, just pick it
Pick
up.
it up. Maybe he didn't see him, but he probably should have.
Yeah, just pick. I don't know how you don't see him, but if you don't, hey, just pick it up, brother.
Pick
We
it
we
up and
need
outlet it, dog. Pick it up and outlet it.
possession is more important than getting out right now.
Yeah, so I mean, with these clips, you saw a lot of poor things we didn't do well, and then at the end, we kind of wrapped it up with the possessions you want to see. So I mean, it's always a tough game, man. It's emotionally charged. I thought the atmosphere was great in there watching it on TV, and it's a tough when you lose a rivalry game like this, man. And I think Michigan will have to up their level if they want to win a Big Ten championship. They got a great opportunity coming up, but this game wasn't our best game, and we got to get better.
Yeah, now definitely some improvements need to be made. I think it was a wake up call for not only the coaching staff but the players as well. I think it's if Dusty has any wrinkles, any adjustments he can go to right now. Now is the time to do it. Right with it seems that game kind of I don't want to say where I don't want to use the word exposed, but it kind of highlighted some of Michigan's weaknesses.
Yeah,
That I'm pretty sure that the other coaches that they're going to face in the Big Ten moving forward are going to try to attack and exploit if they can. So they have some paces and some steps they need to take in practice this week.
yeah, and they got a great opportunity, quick turnaround, so it's good for them, man. But I would say one thing, just looking at this game to our fans out there, man, don't leave the arena early. Right? Great atmosphere from the start. I think one of the best atmospheres we ever had for a Michigan State game. At least looking at it from TV, a great atmosphere. Support your team to the end, man. It's a Friday night. You ain't got to get home. You ain't got to get nothing to do on Saturday. Stay there to the end. Support the team, and don't give that visual of all of our fans exiting the building with 1 or 2 minutes left on the clock. Right? Yeah. I think that's my challenge to our fans. Be there and support this team throughout ups, downs, whatever it is. Be there, support this team through it. There's no reason for me when I'm looking at the TV and I see people exiting the arena with 1 or 2 minutes left on the clock, man. Support this team all the way through. Because when you go to other arenas, man, you see folks doing that, right? We don't want to give that where we looking like fair weather fans on this thing. Support this team through. Tough loss to a rival, but stay there and absorb it, man. Feel it with these guys.
Yeah. That's part of a rivalry. You ain't gonna win them all. You gotta take your medicine when it's your turn.
Yeah, take your medicine when it's turn and support this team to the end, to the buzzer, because we want to play hard to the end of the buzzer. So fans out there, support this team to the end of the buzzer. None of this parading out of the arena with 1 or 2 minutes left, man. I thought that was for me personally, as an alum, as a former player, former coach on this thing, I thought that was a bad look on TV.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Yeah, man. Now it's time to get into our Nebraska preview. Like we said, I mean, we got a quick turnaround from a tough rivalry loss against MSU, but this is an opportunity to get back right, get back on the winning side of things, man. And Nebraska is a team that's been struggling as of late, but it's still a dangerous team. I mean, they were down 20 points to Northwestern at home, and they were able to come back and win that game. And then, their last game against Penn State, they got down early and battled and weren't able to get all the way back into it. But this is a team that doesn't quit. This is a team that got some really good and talented players on their team. And then going into Nebraska, it's always a tough venue, man. It's one of the best venues that, I've been a part of. When they're rocking, they're rolling out there in Nebraska. They got a great arena, great fans. So it's always a good environment to go into. So if you let these guys get going, you let the fans get into it, they can cause you some issues, man. So what were your thoughts just early, just kind of watching these guys and looking at their team?
They're like a pretty skilled basketball team, right? They run some good offensive concepts. I think they're one of the teams that I've seen over the last couple months since we've been doing this that kind of run the two-sided break into 5-out concepts, right? So, and that can be tough to guard depending on how those guys shoot the ball. It creates a lot of spacing. So I think but as good as they are offensively at times, I think they're equally as bad defensively.
Yeah.
So, so I think it's one of those games where if we go in there and we guard, because it's going to be tough, right? No matter what their record is, Michigan is going out to Lincoln, Nebraska. That's going to be a big occasion for them. So I think we go out there, they're going to be up and ready to play. It's going to be a tough game. So we're going to have to show up defensively and put a better product on the floor defensively, right? Guarding what their actions and some of their players, which we'll get into in a second. But offensively, I think we have to get back to kind of pushing the pace and really getting out and exploiting our strength, using our strengths to exploit some of their weaknesses, right? I think the 4-5 pick and roll will be good this game. I think they're a bit undersized compared to our big. Let's face it, everybody's
Yeah,
undersized.
everybody's on the side. We got 2 7-footers out
You
there. One
got
got
two
21.
7-footers, right?
So you
So I
got to
think they
get
could, definitely. I think this will be a game where Danny and Vlad will be able to get right and have some success and kind of get us out of Lincoln with a victory.
Yeah, we got to get this one. This is the get back, get right game, and it's a good. Sometimes it's a good thing. We have a quick turnaround. You don't have enough time to dwell on that game. You just got to move forward, and everything, like we said, everything we want is still ahead of us, man. So let's get to our keys to victory for this game, man. And I think for Michigan, like we were just talking about, that quick turnaround, competitive spirit, man, bounce back after a tough rivalry loss, learn from it, make adjustments, move forward, and you can't let that game beat you twice. I mean, that's the first key to this one. And then, like you said before, like we got a major, major advantage, I think, with our size and skill level. So we must own the paint, man. We got to attack inside on offense. And then on the other end of the floor, we got to protect the rim on defense. We got to keep these guys from driving and getting into our paint, and we got to control that interior by shutting down Nebraska from doing that, man. And then I think the third thing for this one, I thought we lost a little bit of this in the Michigan State game.
Yes.
Michigan has to be the most connected team, right? Both on offense and defense. Offensively, we got to share the ball. We got to move the ball. We got to share the game and create the best shot opportunity every possession. And then defensively, we got to be connected. We got to communicate. We got to rotate. We got to have multiple efforts. We got to stay locked in as one unit because these guys can hurt you. They got some really good players out there that can pass, dribble, shoot, but we can't let them get any type of confidence or daylight in this game by being connected. All right, so let's get into this film, man, as I bring that to the stage, and let's break down some of their key players that Nebraska has on and their tendencies for this game.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this really quickly. We got Connor Season is the first guy we got up. Really good shooter. A little bit more after getting into the film. He's a little bit more versatile scorer than I thought he was. Right,
Yep.
and he can score pretty much at they call it a 3-level scorer. But he can really, he's a dangerous threat on the offensive end. Right, you can see here he gets into. He's gonna ghost this ball screen. Right, just to create a small advantage. That's not a big advantage right there.
But he get his feet set, he gets it up quick, and he can make those shots.
Yes, sir.
Making about 2 threes per game.
All right, next clip. Little pin down action. Able to get downhill. Right-handed finish. Right, that's going right. Right. He's got the catch and pull. Like he said, he's not even open.
Yeah, it's hand down, man down.
It's catch and pull. Then right here, you can see him turning. You saw him go right a couple clips ago. Now you see him coming off a screen, right, curling it, getting downhill with his left hand, right? Shot fake, step around a defender, good fundamentals right there, nice finish. I don't want to, he reminds me of a great value Nick Stauskas, right? Nick Stauskas is really nice at a lot of these.
Great value. So Nick Stauskas.
Yeah. He's not, because Nick was big time. This guy ain't not as good.
But he can get going though. He can get going. He's not as creative off the bounce. It's probably athletic and agile as Nick, but he's a guy that, like we said before, when we talk about the Trey Hollemans and the Jeremy Fear, you don't want to let these guys get going because they are very capable of hurting you if you do. And Connor Season is one of those guys who is capable of hurting you, like you said, in a variety of ways, not just a shooter. Yeah, he can get downhill. He can make plays as well.
And like I said, with the Stauskas compare, great balance on his jump shot, great follow through, reads the game really well as far as turning the corner on those, curling on those screens and getting downhill, one dribble, shot fake. He's really, really skilled basketball player. I think they should probably use him a little bit more, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I like his game. Right? Get downhill on the ball screen, little flare screen action in their 5-out principles. Great balance, great jumper. Nice. I get into these Bryce Williams clips, right? Hot ball screen at the 45. He's not great at turning the corner unless it's just wide open. But what he does, especially going left, he wants to get to his spot and gets his little step back, right? And it's weird because watch his left foot, Chris. Remember we talked about the kid from Oregon when he was going right, he would kind of have that little extra step on the gather into his jump shot. Williams does this quite a bit. His left foot's like an old school Reggie Miller travel. Watch his left foot. Like it gives him a little
extra space to get that shot off. He's already, a pretty good sized guard, about 6'6", 6'7" at the point. Yeah. But yeah, that's what he likes to do. And like you said, these are the tendencies that you pick up when you watch film on guys. When he goes left, he wants to shoot that little step back shot. If he's going right, and that left foot is a little wiggling and jiggling again, huh?
Yeah, I think getting away with that, but he does that quite a bit, right? And he's capable of knocking that down.
So right? Going left, step back.
Going left, step back. Going right, he's trying to get all the way to the rim and get to this little running one-hander. He's made a few of them over the last couple of weeks. That's just kind of his go-to going downhill. When he gets right, he's trying to shoot that running one-hand floater.
Yeah.
Right? Capable jump shooter, very confident shooter.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 points in the Big Ten play. So he's the head of the snake. Yep. He's going to be ultra aggressive in both transition and in the half court. But reading his tendencies and kind of knowing what he likes to do, going both ways, then now you have a better opportunity of guarding him.
Yep, here we are again with the flare screen on the weak side. Nice jumper. Right, he's a guy we're gonna have to deal with him.
So Michigan principles, that weak side flare screen, probably a lot of switches. So hopefully they can switch and take that shot away and then contain the dribble on those plays.
Right. And so these next 2 or 3 clips of him are really quick, but they kind of emphasize a shot that I think if we don't pay attention to, he can kind of hurt us with, because we give up, as we saw in the Michigan State game, especially when we play zone, he's able to get in this area and make this little fadeaway right here. That's a nice shot.
That's a nice shot for him. He's comfortable and confident with shooting that in man or zone.
Man or zone. At 6'6", get to the spot, raise and shoot. Right. Those 2 are against man. This is against zone. Right. We just saw Jace Williams. We saw the big fella Kohler. We've seen this area be wide open against Michigan. We go to our zone off. So they're gonna have to figure something out, because that's a guy. He'll make
the majority of those. Yeah, you can't if you're Vlad, you can't sit there back and dare him to shoot those, because he'll be making those all night.
Nah, for sure. Right, now we're gonna get into Gary. What's Juwan Gary?
Juwan Gary, man.
And he's a more of a catch and shoot, attack, closeout guy, right? They're not gonna put in his hands and navigate ball screens too often, anything of that nature. But when he gets a chance to get his feet set, he's gonna shoot it. Once again, calling. We knew he was open the whole time. Hey, ref, that's a travel. We'll talk about it later.
Yep, nice strong downhill driver, great at reading closeouts, either shooting it or making the right play driving the ball.
Right, he's hunting threes. Right, he comes off this he gets his feet set pretty quick. Knows he has a good look at it and knocks it down. Right, same thing here. He could have probably cut harder, maybe got the ball, but I don't think that's what he really wants to do, Chris. This is what he look like. See how quick he get his feet set right there? Yeah, he want that.
He want that.
You got to find
another capable dude, man. Like these are guys that you can't let them see early, easy baskets, because then that basket starts getting real big, and they can make shots, especially at home. They can make shots and they can hurt you.
For sure. Right, Andrew Morgan, next guy in the another key piece of what they do. He's a quintessential 5-out big, right? About 6'9". I got him listed at 6'10". I don't know if he's that tall.
Yeah, don't look that tall. He look more like 6'9". But he can do a lot of things in there, like you said, in their 5-out offense that really helps facilitate either setting screens and rolling or making plays out of short roll or in the corner. Like, he does a lot of that stuff off drop-offs and leverage, and got a little post game too.
Yep. And this is a short roll right here. Step through over his left shoulder.
Nice little feed work.
Yeah. Right.
5 out, short roll.
And he's
Face
really
up,
good
rip
with short
through.
roll. That time he's over his left shoulder and one. Over his right shoulder, I apologize. Over his right shoulder and one.
And he's
Right
the guy,
shoulder.
since he's a little undersized, he likes that step or the step through. He likes to step and under. So if you are big fellas, you got to stay down, keep your body in between him and the basket, and don't leave your feet be the second man off the floor, because he's not going to be able to shoot right over the top of you with his size and length and athleticism.
Yep. I added this clip from a little longer length, right, just to kind of show the Michigan fans out there a little bit of Nebraska's offense, right? This is what they want to do in transition, right? He gets the rebound. He's delaying on purpose, right? You can see they're getting to that two-sided break where you have guys sprinting down here in the corner, guy here in the 45, right? Michigan runs a lot of that as well. I think, like I said, in the Purdue game, a couple other games, you saw them have a heavy emphasis on getting this ball early and opposite to Danny and other guys in transition, allowing them to attack out of this slot right here against a guy that's, against a closeout. So Nebraska's going to try to do a lot of that as well. They do a lot of guard-to-guard screening, especially when your point guard is 6'6". You get into this, right? Again, short roll, step through, down the baseline, finish. Right? He's going to do a lot of that. He's going to do a lot of screening and rolling and initiating plays with handoffs and with DHOs. Everybody likes to say DHO these
Dribble
days.
handoff.
Yeah.
DHO. The difference. A handoff could be you just catch it and DHO. But like you said, he's capable in the post too. Like, he, maybe a little bit undersized, but got good footwork and can get you some stuff. He loves the step unders, the step throughs. Exactly. Look, he's going to show it to you, and he's going to step under or step through you to try to get a better angle and leverage to make his shot.
Yeah. Right, gets out in transition again. They got the two side going. That's considered early and opposite. He's delaying his run. He is into the zone. Easy work. That's that possession. If I'm pretty sure they clipped this possession and it's like, hey, this is what we want our offense to look like.
Yeah.
In transition, right? So if you see this, if you're Michigan fans and you see it operating at this level in this function where they're catching the ball clean and getting into their actions like this, we're probably going to be in trouble, right? We got to do the best we can. And that's the thing. That's why we switch a lot of things. I think we might have to experiment with a little bit of trapping some of this stuff. But you got to take, I'm not a big fan of letting guys do what they practice.
Yeah, you got to make them uncomfortable. So if we're switching, we got to switch up into the ball. We got to bully over these screens, bully over these handoffs, and you got to make all this stuff contested. And we didn't do a good job of that last game against MSU in any standpoint.
Yep. Hard duck in right here. That's probably the closest post feed I've ever seen in my life. Right here, quick sigma, rip through down the baseline, finish again. Very crafty around the rim.
Crafty.
Last clip. Boom. I just add that one because he likes to get down the baseline and use the rim
as protection.
Yes.
Because he don't have the lift. He's not as tall. So, like I said, the step throughs, the up and unders, he likes to find those different angles to score down there. And he's pretty effective.
Yes, sir.
So that's Nebraska, man, in a nutshell, man. You're looking at them coming in. They're 17-10 overall, 7-9 in the Big Ten. So this is a game. If you're Michigan, you got to go down there, set the tone early. The competitive spirit has to be there, and you have to be the most connected team. I mean, Nebraska, like I said, is a great environment. They probably have some of the funniest fans that sit right behind the bench and yell out some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Especially last year, they got us good, man, with some great stuff about all the ball-headed, assistant coaches and staff members that we had. They got some really good fans down there to yell out some funny stuff, man. So I mean, it's always a great environment. I like going down there because the arena is really nice, man. It's a fun atmosphere. Their game presentation and all that stuff is excellent. the way they put on a show out there for their fans. So we got to come out ready.
Yeah.
We got to come out ready if we're Michigan.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yeah. So let's talk about for our last topic, man, is the Dusty May contract extension, man. I think that was a great thing for our athletic director, Ward Manuel, to be able to quell all of the innuendos, all of the talk going out there of him potentially being courted by Indiana and going back home to his alma mater. I think, Dusty and the staff was in a great position with the success they had so far in this season to have, some leverage to say, hey, man, let's go back to the table, man, and see what we're putting together here and lock in a special coach, I think, in Dusty May and a good staff. So what were your thoughts on when you saw that contract extension?
That just shows why Ward's the best in the business. I think he's taken a lot of flack over the years, especially when it comes to some of the things Michigan football related and some of the things Juwan Howard and Michigan basketball related. But I think he continues to answer those questions with, emphatically, right? He, things go a little south with Juwan. He goes out and gets the hottest coach in the country, right?
Yeah.
He promotes Sharon Moore, who's been looks like a home run hire up to this point as far as how he's handled everything in regards to being the Michigan football head coach. So it's basically par for the course for Ward's tenure as not just at Michigan, but even at Connecticut as an athletic director, as far as doing what he needs to do to put his teams and programs in a chance to be as successful as they can possibly be. And I think the next step for Michigan was locking Dusty up with, all the speculation about, leaving him, Indiana pursuing him. And let's just get that out the way right now. He's not going anywhere. So I think that was the perfect way to handle it. And I'm happy Dusty's staying. I think he's the right guy for the job. But I will say I am shocked that he didn't go. He didn't at least wait to hear what Indiana had to say. I know for me, like I said before, I love Michigan so much I could be coaching in Timbuktu. If Michigan comes calling, hey, I gotta at least listen. So
at least listen to him, huh?
Yeah. So for him to make that decision without listening to Indiana just really goes to show, what type of package or what type of effort Ward and the athletic department and the board of regents, whoever's in charge, made towards keeping him here in Michigan. So hey, go blue.
Go blue, man. But we'll talk about some of the details that I thought was really good, man. When you think about some of the details of this contract, he got an extra $1 million a year on his annual salary. And the thing that stood out to me the most, if these reports are true by some of the reputable sports people out there, a pay bump across the board for the Michigan men's basketball staff.
Yes.
Right? So that's a huge thing. That's kudos to Dusty on that, because typically, man, I've been in some situations where coaches have gotten extensions, and they've been the only one who's getting pay bumps. So it's a really good thing to see that that's a part of that. That shows the type of guy he is, because when you get on at this level, man, you're not doing it by yourself. You have a staff of people, and this is not only the assistant coaches. We're talking about down the line, the people who are in the trenches and make this whole thing go. And to see that, at least in the reports, that, his whole men's basketball staff is getting a pay bump is huge, man. Because, like I said, I've been on staff where that wasn't the case. Where you see coaches got, pay bumps and increases in their contracts, and everybody else stayed the same. So
right, even the guys he brought with him when he got the Michigan job, he's every step he's kind of taken is kind of proven, the type of guy that he is with his guys, and that you have to respect that. It led to some tough decisions being made for other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he took care of his guys in the long run as best he could. So that's it's par for the course for what he's shown so far.
Yeah, and you like to see that, man, because one man doesn't equal success for a program like this. It's all the way down across the board, and you want to see everybody rewarded for what they do. So kudos to him for making a push for that. And then thirdly, the NIL, I think he had some good stipulations in there that coffer or that bank is going to be bolstered and buffered for his NIL exploits, coming up here throughout his tenure here. So that's, in this day and age, that's the thing that you have to have. You got to have the bullets to be able to go out there and fight this war of NIL to get the players in here to make your program well. So kudos to him. Well deserved, and it's good to see that Ward Manuel did a great thing by locking this guy up for years to come, and I'm looking forward to the success that Michigan will have moving forward.
Ward Manuel, the best in the business,
getting it done, man. He's getting it done on all facets, man. So, all right, man. That will be our show today for the Big Game Podcast, man. It's great to be here with you guys again. If you like the content that you're seeing. Like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, make any comments in the comments, and we'll make sure we respond back to you guys on that stuff, man. And we're looking forward to seeing how the Wolverines bounce back against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So until next time, man, this is the Big Game Podcast. I'm Chris Hunter with my man Daniel Horton. Peace.
Peace.